Welcome back to the franchise. We're still here. We're still doing the show. All right. And we're still on Ernest. We're not done. We got one more week of Ernest next week. There's three of them. All right. Listen, I wanna open with a formal apology to Ernest Scared Stupid, which I gave a 1-2 last week. I after watching further Ernest movies, um that movie looks really good to me now. Look really, really good. Like that was ambitious. It was confidently made. It had stories. It had characters. I we're really down a rabbit hole now. All right, we're doing Ernest Rides Again and Ernest Goes to School this week. All right. Now, Rides Again, you might hear that title, think maybe he's in the Old West. Maybe he's riding horses. Maybe he's I don't know. There's so many options, but no, he's on a cannon. That's it. They thought of let's put him on a cannon. Why is that a movie? Ernest on a cannon. Why? I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. That's Logan Adair. Logan, how's Ernest treating you?
Obviously terribly, as it is you. I believe the great Griffin Newman once said, Cars 2 makes Cars 3 look like Cars 1. And you went through a thing where Ernest Rides Again makes Ernest Scared Stupid looks like Ernest Goes to jail, basically, is what I'm
That's
hearing.
right.
And
That's
I think that's
accurate.
totally fair. Your review
Mhm.
was worst movie ever, and I think it could be.
I was thinking about it. I think Ernest Rides Again might be the worst movie.
Worst movie. It gets the
Yeah, yeah,
title for worst film,
yeah.
if you can call it that.
According to Letterboxd, I've seen 7,285
Wow.
movies. All right. Now
Movies.
some of those might be short films or TV series. Okay, but roughly around let's call it 7,000. All right, I've seen about 7,000 movies.
It's a lot of movies.
This might be the worst movie.
I couldn't
I'm
throw any
not
at
even.
you.
I'm not exaggerating. I've thought about it. We've done for the show. What are the worst movies we've ever done?
Clerks
I was
3.
thinking Clerks 3, Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, or whatever it was.
Okay. Is that worse
I
than
mean,
Holiday Heist?
yeah, it
Okay.
is. And, there's whatever horrible Children of the Corn or Leprechaun sequels we did, or this is worse.
Yeah. It's
I
meant
would rather watch any Children of the Corn movie.
my least favorite thing is a comedy that's not funny, where you just sit there and things are happening that are meant to make you laugh, but they maybe people feel that way about this podcast. But and it's just not happening. And that's what that
But
Rides Again is.
there's so many comedies like that. There's so many comedies that are unfunny, but it's like you can look at it and be like, "Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke." Like you were able to identify Ernest Rides Again as a comedy. I'm not even sure I could do that. Like at any given moment of the movie, I have no idea what they're going for. Like I sort of get it like when he falls down or he runs into something
He
or
says,
some
I'd be dead if I wasn't an actual cartoon. He says that at
yeah,
one point. That's
right.
funny,
Or if he
right?
says, know what I mean?
Know what I
Or
mean? Carry the
or
one.
shit like that. Like I get
Ew.
that
He didn't do that.
right.
No,
He
ew.
did do that. He did do that.
Really? I didn't notice it in either film.
I'm no, definitely ewed this week a couple
Hmm.
times. But I it's I like the way you do the mouth thing and the ew.
Oh, it's necessary.
If you're watching the video,
You can't just say
Logan does a
ew.
really good approximation of the
Cast
Ernest
me. I'd be good
ew.
Ernest.
Yeah, let's reboot Ernest with Logan. We'll
That'd
put
be
him at
awesome.
Kick a Butt Camp.
Kick a
Camp
butt.
Kick a
Can't kick a
Butt.
butt.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I remember that joke. That's how good it is.
I
Um
can't believe it.
but yeah, it's just like there are so many times I'm watching Ernest Rides Again and I'm like, how? Like, how was this an idea that made it to the screen?
Well, it's the
Like
one guy has full cult control.
I know,
Cherry.
but it's like remember last week we were talking about the Ernest franchise, or maybe it was
I
two
do
weeks ago,
remember that. Yeah.
and it was like there were like seven Ernest movies in development.
Hmm.
And I told you it was just like whichever one was furthest along in development, that's what they worked on. How is this one furthest in development?
Because there are no ideas. They didn't like have to put any thought into it. It was like, I cannon, and he rides around and runs over cars.
But how is that a thought?
I don't honestly, I have no idea. That's not a thing.
How is that a thought? That Ernest finds a Revolutionary War cannon, gets stuck in it, and then it rolls down a hill for 30 minutes of a movie. That is not a movie.
This should be installment 329, not
They,
5.
it can't even be. I think I could come up with 328 better Ernest ideas before hitting
Go. Do it.
Revolutionary War canon. All
Go.
right. Ernest hooked on drugs. Ernest hey, sports, hockey.
All the
Ernest
sports.
Ernest plays
Every
you know
occupation. It's so
yeah, yeah.
I don't get
Ernest
it.
gets
How did they
hooked
get here?
in a video game tournament. Ernest he
At
becomes
the X
obsessed with
Games.
yeah, he becomes obsessed with Pogs.
Ernest at
Ernest
WrestleMania.
boom.
He
All
loves
right.
wrestling. He does talk about it in
It's great.
a few movies.
Ernest goes to Japan. All
Ernest goes to
right.
space.
Ernest in the suicide forest. Ernest I mean it's insane.
Would he wear
I
a Toy Story hat?
and is that what Logan Paul wore?
Mm-hmm. The alien, the little
He
alien.
did. I don't remember that.
Yeah, one of the aliens.
Oh my god. Uh, yeah.
Do you know
Ernest
what the aliens'
wrestles.
catchphrases are? Little trivia here.
Oh, something
No,
like that.
no, I'm not gonna give it to you.
Oh,
I'm not gonna give it to you.
yeah.
They,
You
they say
should.
something. They always say something.
What do they say?
You have saved our lives, and we are eternally grateful.
All right, it's whatever. Listen, Ernest
It is
as
whatever.
a bodyguard, like do the bodyguard with Kevin Costner, but with Ernest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about he's
Now we're doing Muppets. We're just swapping him into movies. Like we're putting Kermit into
but
movies.
that's
You know.
all this is. That's all this is. You could go through every Adam Sandler movie.
Right.
He golfs. Ernest meets the devil. Ernest.
The one where he goes to school, that's like Billy Madison plus the Water Boy. The second half is the Water Boy,
All it
where he
is
becomes good at
flower.
football.
It's flowers for Algernon. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know flowers for Algernon?
No.
All right. That's like it's a book, I think.
Okay. What do you
I'm
mean
gonna
you
sound like
think?
a fucking moron now. Well, it's been adapted into movies and TV a lot. Like there's a film called Charlie with Cliff Robertson who plays Uncle Ben
Did he win? I
in
think he might have won an Oscar for that.
he might have won an Oscar for that. Yeah, but that's based on Flowers for Algernon.
Okay.
And they come up with this like cure for a dumb guy, and it's like he's able to become smart, but it's only for a short period of time. Then over the course of the film or the book, he starts to lose his intelligence, and it's
Oh
like
shit.
he's reverting back to normalcy, and he's losing all the things he's gained in his intelligence. It's an interesting idea, and that's basically all this is. Like everyone on the Letterboxd was saying like it's Billy Madison, but I'm like it sort of is, but it's Flowers for Algernon. That's why
Wow.
my review of it was Flowers for Ernest.
Well, I think people are just trying to do the Sandler connection, maybe
I
because of all the
yeah.
other things.
Well, because people hear that and it's like that. Yeah, it's an adult going back to school. That's like the most famous thing where that happened. Billy Madison.
Right.
But
Elf,
like
it
I
sort
don't.
of happens. Will Ferrell's like an elf school, but he's like a human.
Oh yeah, I could picture him in like a class being all tall.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, but Revolutionary War canon.
Yeah. I don't know
That
how they got there.
that's it. We were like, all right, he goes to camp. He saves Christmas. He goes to jail. He uh will do a little spooky thing, and then
Those all make total sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. And then after that, I'm thinking Revolutionary War
We got to
canon.
get him on that cannon.
Yeah.
Maybe his
Let's
back was
do it.
hurt in the filming. They're like, we'll just set you on the cannon, run you around. You don't have to do too much.
But for so much of it, he's stuck inside the cannon. That can't be good on the back.
Mm, maybe they shot it like he wasn't really in the cannon.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's
I don't want
not
to
an
think about it
idea.
more than they did. I
It,
think we're doing that at this
no,
point.
I'm compelled to. I'm
Really?
yeah, because it's how did we get here? And it's such a crucial movie for the series too, because it's the first one not produced by Disney. Okay.
Okay.
So like I'm thinking, all right, this one needs to do well for us. We're producing it independently with our own money. John Cherry, he has his own production company producing this, M. Michelle Producers.
Mm.
And
I noticed the new logos.
yeah. So they're putting $3 million of their own money in this. They're filming two back to back. All right. And they're going to pay for theatrical distribution for this one.
Wow.
Okay. Like this is the most crucial Ernest movie. All right. This is make it or break it. We got to save the franchise. All right. Varney's willing to come back. We want to keep making Ernest movies.
Mm-hmm.
Revolutionary War canon.
I have no answers, so I don't know how to help you. It's perplexing. If
It
anyone out there
is.
has it, we had a comment. Maybe he has answers.
Oh, read the comment. Let's see.
Should I actually?
Yeah, why
All
not?
right.
I got no
Prospect.
notes on this. This could be a 10-minute episode.
I think we've gone past that maybe.
Wow.
He says Ernest Rides Again is the worst of the series by far. They literally had one idea for a scene and somehow stretched it into an entire movie.
That's my argument is they didn't even have an idea for a scene.
They had an idea for the canon. Like that's such a crazy idea that it's an idea, you know?
It, it's not though. That no one should ever have thought, let's
How does
put
it happen then?
Ernest on a Revolutionary War canon, written it down. Like had that thought, wrote it down, pitched it to pals and people with
Who
money.
wrote it? Who wrote it?
John Cherry with
All right.
a fellow named William
Well,
Akers.
it was one of these guys just like drunk on the brink of passing out one night watching an old documentary, and then they were like, "You got to write the script," and they're like, "What was I watching last night?" And then they remembered, like, "Oh yeah, there was a canon.
But
Ernest on
that's
a
the thing.
canon."
I believe it. I believe it. You thought of this drunk, but then it's the next morning.
You get the
Do
call,
something
write the
else.
script. You're like, "Oh shit, what? Canon." That's like the first thing on your
But
mind.
they filmed this back to back with school. So they must have had the school idea in the pipeline. That's a
It's not
way
ready
better
yet, though.
idea. Oh
They
my
said
God.
first up, first here, first goes, whatever.
I know, but why? And the title, it's so generic. Ernest Rides Again. Like all these movies tell you what the movie is.
Right.
Ernest goes to jail. Great. I'll watch that. What's
And you'll have a great
Ernest
time.
Ride? What's Ernest Rides Again? You know what? Here's a. Can I read you an IMDb trivia about Ernest Rides Again?
Yes, of course. We're not
This.
done with this comment though. Here.
Oh, okay. Finish the comment.
Painfully obvious that this was the first indie Ernest movie. It only got a single DVD release back in 2012, and they cared so little that they didn't even remove the cigarette burns from the film transfer. Did you notice that?
I did notice
That
that.
was nuts. I
Yeah.
was like, what's happening here? I can't fucking believe it was in 1,200 theaters, but I can believe it only made $1 million total. So he doesn't have any real
Yeah.
insight, I guess. Into
All right. Listen to this. They couldn't decide what to call the movie, Logan. They had three titles.
okay.
One was Ernest Meets Goliath, because
Okay.
that's the name of the canon. I think that's a terrible title. It makes it sound like he meets a giant.
Right.
All right. Then Ernest Goes Boom. All right,
Like
that's
it.
canon related.
I sort of like it.
I think that's the best one. All right.
Mhm.
And then Ernest Rides Again. Okay. So John Cherry, at this point, he had a 17-year-old daughter, Emily. I hope he wasn't letting her hang out with that tramp from Saves Christmas. Uh, and she, she he couldn't decide which title to go with. He asks his 17-year-old daughter to have her classmates help him out.
Hmm.
So she's in a class. She's in the school band. All right, and there's 150 people in the school band.
That's a lot of people
It's an enormous band.
for a high school.
Yeah, yeah. And
I didn't have that
she,
many people in my graduating class.
I had more than that, but not many
I had
more.
like 114, 116, something like that.
What number were you?
Like what in terms of what?
Academics.
Between like 16 and 19.
Really? It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. No.
Well, you're still smart. You're just not fulfilling your promise.
Yeah. That's more what it is.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
me feel better.
Yeah. All right. So they take a vote,
Yeah.
the 150 people of the band, and Ernest Rides Again wins. Now I understand why Ernest Rides Again wins that vote, because context free, they're like, what do we name an Ernest sequel? And
He's
they're looking
back.
at Ernest meets Goliath. I don't know what the fuck that means. Ernest Goes Boom. Someone, you'd have to show me a picture of Ernest on the cannon or something. And Ernest Rides Again just sounds like a sequel.
Right. It
So
sounds
they
like
vote for
Ernest.
that. Right.
Yeah, I do get it, I guess, in that sense. But now for us, now we know there are a lot more. In Ernest Goes, it matches like goes to camp, goes to school, goes to Africa, goes boom. I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun to me. But they didn't know, I guess, those other ones were coming later on.
But the kids didn't know either. Like you're asking people to vote on this that are completely divorced from the process. Like
Yeah.
they don't
Why can't they just make
know.
up their mind? Like you're the creatives. What are you doing asking high schoolers?
That's what I'm saying. John Cherry, choose between three titles. Don't poll a bunch of 17-year-olds.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic.
What are you, the crew of Ernest Saves Christmas, trying to poll 17-year-olds?
All right. Was that how old she was? 17?
I think she was 16.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that story of the crew.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
Um, all right. It came out November 12th, 1993, on a budget of $3 million. It made 1.4 million at the box office, coming in at number 184 for the year.
Mm.
Between it made slightly less money than A Dangerous Woman, which is a very funny movie. It's not supposed to be funny, but it is. And that's directed by Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal's dad. And
Mm.
I think they both pop up in it as little kids.
Okay.
And made slightly more money than Three Colors Blue.
I thought about
Mhm.
watching some of those this week because they're on some of these lists, maybe.
Hey,
But
they're good, man. Two of those movies are great.
which ones though?
Red and blue. White's a
What's
little
the
weak.
order?
I think blue, white, red is the order, and the middle one's the weakest one.
Which one's Julie Delpy in?
That one, white. See, that's like white's kind of weak, but it's like worth watching because it's got Julie Delpy.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will check those out. They all interest me. I don't know what they're about, so that's cool.
yeah. Let's. Well, didn't you listen to our coverage?
I definitely did, but I don't remember that.
All right.
I don't remember those about.
Let's let's do a 1993 list or whatever, huh?
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first because I lost my list.
Number
Sure.
10, Matinee, directed by Joe Dante. Number
Great
9,
film.
The Fugitive. I don't know who made that one. It says Andrew
That's
Davis.
yeah, Andrew Davis, who also did Above the Law with Steven Seagal.
Oh shit. I don't think I've ever seen
Yeah.
one of his movies. Should I start there?
Yeah, I think that's his first movie.
Hell yeah. Number 8, The Sandlot. Number 7, Groundhog Day. Number 6, this is a film I watched yesterday. I watched Ernest 2 days ago, and then I watched this, and then I watched another Ernest. This broke it up. called Naked.
Oh, Mike Lee's Naked. What a film.
Mike Lee. Number five, a little better than Naked. Sleepless
He's
in
got a new
Seattle.
film out, Mike Lee.
No
Hard
way.
Truths. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
That's very cool. I didn't know he was still
Hmm.
making stuff.
Oh yeah.
Who do you like more, Mike Lee or Spike Lee? Isn't that sort of crazy? They have the same name.
Yeah, it is wild. And Mike Lee is so like the white Spike Lee. But I Spike's better, but that's they're two of the great filmmakers of all time. Maybe both in the top 10 could be.
That's fair. Number
Mhm.
five, Sleepless in Seattle. I loved that movie. I just watched it. Four, True Romance. Three, Dazed and Confused. Two, Jurassic Park. One, Schindler's List.
Love it. All right. Here's here's my list. Fugitive didn't quite make it. I love that movie though.
You probably like it
Number
more than me. I just didn't have enough
yeah,
grades.
it's a good year in '93. Number 10 is Poetic Justice. Number 9, Red Rock West. Number 8, Menace to Society. Number
Gotta cover
7,
those.
yeah, we gotta cover Menace One Society. Uh, number 7, Naked. Number 6, Three Colors Blue. Number 5, Groundhog Day. Number
Oh,
4, True Romance. Number 3, Jurassic Park. Number 2, Schindler's List. Number 1, Dazed and Confused.
okay. Same top four, just mixed up.
Yep.
I didn't know you love Groundhog Day that much. That's sort of crazy, honestly.
Groundhog Day is one of the greatest, one of the best comedies ever made.
Wow.
It's a perfect film, and it's one of those movies like I watched a lot as a kid, and then I remember when I was living with Henry, I was like drunk one night. I put on Groundhog Day. I was like, I wonder how this fucking thing will hold. I was like at my
You
snobbiest,
upset?
Yeah, let's see how this goes.
I get that.
Let's see if this fucking shit is still watchable. And then I just sat there. I was like, every scene is perfect. It's
Yeah,
like incredible.
that's
It's
me. How's this
at,
movie Daniel recommended me? This is gonna suck, probably.
yeah. Let's sidle up to this piece of shit, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh damn,
All
quiz
right.
show was so good.
What? Quiz
I'm talking
show.
about quiz show
Right.
because
I
you
know.
told me to
I
watch
was so
that.
proud of you. You gave
Well,
it
I
a
was gonna watch that
5.
anyway. Actually, it lined up perfect because it's a '94 film, so I would
Oh
have
yeah.
watched that regardless. Actually,
We'll get to it
we will.
soon. All right. But let's go back to Ernest Rides again. Listen, I didn't take any notes this week. Logan didn't take any notes last week. And
2 weeks ago, the one where
oh, that's
without
right.
Tim.
And I was like, well, if he could do it, I could do
But
it.
now I've got some. I mean, not really. I just like plot points and some jokes here and
So
there.
walk me through it. I remember it starts with a song. There's like there once was a man named Ernest or something like
Yeah,
that.
I sort of like the
And
music in these movies. I got to be honest; they're sort of fun.
all right. And then
That's a plus.
he gets chased by like a belt sander. I think
Yeah,
that's the
he's on a
opening bit.
construction site, right? And he knocks over a house, and then the construction crew shows up, like, "Hey, you knocked over our house!" But he like ran
Yeah.
off or whatever.
Because he's like foraging
He's
for
looking for jewels,
artifacts.
right?
What is he doing? He's a treasure hunter in this one.
Right. Of course.
I wonder if this has ideas. They remember they were developing one that was like an Indiana Jones riff.
Yeah. He does
I
say
wonder.
Indiana Worrell at
I
the
know.
start of the
I
movie.
wonder if some of the ideas for this were pulled from that one.
I do think that that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd
And
the belt sander chase him? Is this still residual magnetic powers?
I couldn't tell you. There's like a bit in the second movie where the toilets kept like pushing themselves back against the wall. Like everything just has like a mind
Oh
of their own.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on in these movies.
Right. He's like pushing it.
And then they keep coming back.
Right.
And then they like break through the wall or whatever.
Not a good bit. I remember watching that bit and being like, what's funny about this? Like I'm
I wish
not
I could
so
do the face I'd make when I watch these movies, but I don't think I'd be able to replicate it.
I want to see it.
It's too hard. I don't think I could get into the mindset.
I'm
If you
not
start
so
talking for a bit, maybe it'll come up.
all right. I feel like I sound humorless. Like I'm some kind of like I'm looking for like because someone who loves Ernest might tell me, why are you looking for logic in an Ernest movie? Why are you looking?
That's fair.
And it is fair, but I'm just I'm just trying to understand it as a comedy.
We just want
And
to
like
hold on to something.
I watched something like that toilet scene, and I'm like, if I was a complete fucking moron, all right, if I had like no expectations for anything and all I wanted to see was like shit jokes and fart jokes and dudes falling down, like I'm like trying to get in the mindset of like the kind of idiots that have to like this movie. All right.
Right.
And even in doing that, I can't fathom like what's funny about that scene.
But kids, take like don't think about the dumbest adult possible.
No,
Think
no,
about
no.
kids.
But I
The kids
was a
like it.
kid. I was a kid when these movies were coming out, dude.
Yeah.
Like
But
this
you didn't
came
see
out
all
in
of them though, did you?
no, no, I didn't. But like I remember like the later, like I would watch like Scared Stupid or Camp like on television. You'd see it pop up on like cable. You'd
Hmm.
see it with commercials or something. And like as a kid, I'm able to get on board with that kind of shit. But like I remember being in a friend's house and he had a VHS tape of Ernest Goes to Africa,
Hmm.
and we put it on once. And I think we only watched like 10 minutes of it or something. It was like we lost interest and just like bailed and went to play like hand hockey or something. Like I
What does that mean?
well, you never play like you crumple up a little ball of paper,
Oh,
right?
I
And
always
then
think that's like a code for jerking each other off.
no, no,
Like pocket pool.
oh my God. No, no.
You ever hear that?
You get on your knees,
Hand
you
hockey.
take
That
out your
sounds like.
friend's cock and then you start sucking on it. No, it's
Oh
you get
man.
on your knees and it's like you're each a goalie and you have to like get
No,
it
I've seen
past the
that.
other guy. Yeah. So
Just sounds
that's what we
sexual.
did instead of watching Ernest Goes to Africa. All right.
Right. Right.
I think you might have had a basketball hoop out front too. We might have
Oh
played a
hell
little
yeah. Fuck
basketball.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I it's like even as a kid, and he was dumb. Like my friend was dumber than me. All
Damn.
right, dumber than I. And it was like even he was like, I guess Ernest is cooked.
It's
You
done.
know, it's done. Yeah.
That's fair.
And
It,
that's like I mean that at least has a hook, man. I got to imagine if I put on Ernest on a cannon at that age, I wouldn't even be able to make heads or tails of why I'm watching this thing.
right. That's not promising for the next week, honestly.
I know. Well,
And
I think next week's gonna be rough.
you have to assume that movie will only get worse, like more racist as it
I know.
moves forward.
I know.
And we're doing three next week too.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
week we
one of
did
them, Slam Dunk Ernest, has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it.
right. That's
One of my
exciting.
all-time favorite Veronica Mars writers. So I hope that one at least will like get me through.
I'm sure it will, yeah. And the week we did three Hellraisers was actually better than that week where we had Derrickson and the Mayhem guy week. Like
Which was the
we
week we did three Hellraisers.
the last week. But then the third week was even worse, I remember.
We didn't do three in the last week. We wanted to give extra time to like the remake or whatever.
Oh, so then I don't remember what it was then. I think we it was 5 weeks total, right? And then week
Yeah.
four was three. I remember week
Yeah.
three being the worst one. And
Okay.
that only had two movies.
Yeah, yeah, fair
So maybe
enough.
this will be the worst week. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
I hope so. Shout out to Worst Week with Kyle Bornheimer, a classic CBS sitcom that got canceled after one season.
All right, shout out to them. He also has this other guy after the Jewels, Dr. Abner. You remember
Oh
him?
yeah, Dr. Abner. Abner, I think is his first name.
Yeah, it
Um,
was. It was he's just credited as Abner though.
yeah, I know.
What's that
They
about?
fucked it. It annoyed me because they kept calling him like at first we're calling him like Doctor whatever his last name is, and I was trying to look up the actor in the credits, and he's just credited as Abner in the credits. Literally, there's nothing about this movie that didn't piss me off.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia, but he's just credited here. I liked his wife, I gotta be honest. She's in both films. Linda Cash is the
Yeah,
actress's name.
no, she's legitimate. She
She's fun.
plays Eugene Levy's wife in Waiting for Guffman,
I think I
and
noticed somebody else was in like a few of his movies.
and she plays Fred Willard's wife in Best in Show.
That's cool. So yeah,
She's a Christopher Guest semi-regular. Linda Cash is her name, right?
that's right with a K.
Yeah, look, she's all right. I got no beef with Linda Cash, but
No.
this Abner fellow was pretty bad. I looked him up. He was like a an improv guy from Canada, and he moved to California for 3 years to just like try and make it big. And he ended up doing mostly like commercials and uh, maybe a couple guest spots on TV, and then this one Ernest movie. And then he went back to Canada and he started doing stand up, and he made a one man show about his experience those 3 years in Hollywood, which I
That's
would love
fun.
to see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
intriguing to me.
yeah.
I didn't think he was the worst guy I've ever seen in my life.
No, I
He
didn't
sort of had
necessarily
something I
have
liked.
beef with the actor, but he's basically just playing the straight man to Ernest in this. So like his entire role in the movie is like Ernest does something fucking stupid and like almost ruins this guy's life, and he has to be like Ernest, like he's just exasperated the whole time. But then ultimately, because all of Ernest's stupid, shitty shenanigans like confirm all these long held beliefs he's had his entire career as like an archaeologist or whatever. And so like he has to thank Ernest by the end. Like, you know what? If it wasn't for all the dumb bullshit you do, I still would be a fledgling college professor.
Wow. His that yeah. That was almost like his career. He would have to thank Jim Varney for launching his career. If it wasn't for you, but it didn't work out, I
It
guess.
didn't work out. I mean, this tanked, and then he moved back to Canada and became a stand-up.
Right, right. But Abner Mellon is the character's name.
Mellon, Dr. Mellon, I think they're
Dr.
referring
Mellon.
to him. Yeah, in the opening sequences. But
Yeah.
like his whole thing is like he's a historian, but his beliefs about history are like completely unproven. He was like, well, there were Revolutionary War battles here, and like all the other historians are like, no, there's no proof of that, you dumb fuck.
Right.
And then Ernest finds this Revolutionary War canon, and it like proves all of his theories.
Yeah. So gives him a big thank you at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's I mean some jokes in the movie. Basically, they find some shit, and then they find a big cannonball, and then they find a cannon, and then he rides the cannon for the movie. That's what
Is this the
happens.
one? Is this the one where they go to that guy's office and he's like he collects artifacts from throughout history, and he's like, wow, look at all this great shit. And he one of the things he has is Ben Franklin's kite.
Yeah, must be this one. Can't imagine why it would be the other one. Why are you laughing? That's cool.
that is that a thing that someone has somewhere in like
I
a
imagine he
safe?
didn't. He wasn't like
Is there a
crazy day.
museum
Throw it
out there
away. Let
that's
me throw
got
this away.
Ben Franklin's guy? And they showed it, and it was like like a little kite that like a kid would play with.
I don't see
It
what's
was
funny. I was like, oh
and
shit,
and
cool.
then meanwhile, while he's looking at Ben Franklin's kite, Ernest is off in the corner ruining a mummy.
True.
The mummy just like crumbles to dust, man.
Yeah, that's
Here,
funny.
hey, how about that as an Ernest movie? Mummy comes alive, chases Ernest. That's better than canon.
Or Ernest accidentally becomes the mummy. He gets wrapped in the mummy. He'd be funny doing the physical comedy.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Either one. I don't know. I think I just stole a Zach and Cody. That's a Zach and Cody episode for sure.
Well, fine. It's a
They do
better
an
idea.
exhibit at the hotel, and then one of them gets like swapped in the mummy thing.
The Zach and Cody writers are better than the Ernest. I mean, all I was doing was fucking Inca Mummy Girl, season 2, episode 4 of Buffy.
They do. Ernest in the next movie says once more with feeling when he's doing the band conducting. Did you catch that?
I
He says once
didn't.
more with
Oh
feeling.
yeah, yeah, I did. I did
I was like,
actually
oh
at the
shit,
time. Yeah.
hell yeah.
Mm.
And by the way, I wrote in my notes here the puppet show. Whenever they want to get the crown off Ernest's head, they draw the lines on his forehead, like in the episode The
Oh
Puppet
yeah, like
Show.
when they're gonna cut that guy's scalp off.
Was it Giles? Were they going to kill Giles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me just of that. But was this a New Kids on the Block reference? He says, "I'm one of the new boys on the hood." He's like on the hood of a car at one point,
Well, it might have
and
been a Boys in the Hood reference that came out that same year.
Why did you say I'm one of the new boys on? Oh, new boys on the hood.
Maybe that's he's conflating New Kids on the Block and Boys in the Hood.
I don't. Yeah, I think you're actually more right. But that was weird to me. I didn't get that. Um, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, what other plot points? He finds all the gold and then he rides a cannon. That's
You're
what
the one with the
happens.
notes. Tell me.
Oh, I don't have. That's all that happened
Tell me,
basically.
baby.
Uh, should I read Wikipedia? I don't want to read that
Oh,
shit.
I don't care.
No, it doesn't matter. Um, I mean, that's this movie. He rides into an RV. The people that have fishing poles, they're trying to like do
Oh
fishing poles
yeah.
on his face.
Yeah.
Those classic.
He's on the cannon for a half hour. Like the movie is about an hour and 20 minutes long or something. You know, if you take out the credits and the song at the beginning, and then you know, a lot of that's just farting around with this college professor, and then a half hour of it straight is him falling down on this cannon. Now, I've seen Revolutionary War cannons, Logan.
Mhm.
All right, I've been to museums. I've been I've been to Civil War battlegrounds. Those are
Oh.
Civil War cannons. All
You've
right.
done LARPing also.
No, I have not.
Yeah, you talk about it all the time.
Nope. 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 Didn't know what LARPing was until I watched an episode of a show called Huge. I watched this show that took place in a fat camp called Huge. It was on ABC Family, and there was an episode about LARPing, and that's how I learned what LARPing was. I remember
Do you know where I learned about it?
that. Where?
The film Role Models.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I remember when I saw Role Models, I was like, oh, it's like that episode of Huge.
That's cool. Who is it? It's Vince Plas. What's his name? It's
Christopher
McLovin.
Mintz-Plasse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What was I? How did I get on that? Oh, I've
LARPing,
seen
Civil War.
cannons. I've seen cannons. All right, they're all lugubrious. All right, they're these giant, heavy things. I I think it would take a team of people to push a cannon like 10 steps. Okay, this guy's rolling in a cannon. Is it all downhill?
I think once you get going, there's no stopping it.
What? How
It's
is
all forward momentum, baby. The way the cannon leans forward on the wheels. I'm totally making this shit up. But that sounds kind
it's
of right to me.
it's impossible.
I don't know.
This is like
Listen,
when
I'm
you
not going to
thought you
argue
could. This is
logic
like
and
when you
physics.
thought you could hold a thing over yourself underwater
That's
and have
real, motherfucker. I
conversation.
did that. I fucking did that.
Oh.
God damn it. All right. The I hated those two guys that were like that kept talking at the same time that she's
I
with.
I wondered whether they were supposed to be Chuck and who?
Bobby.
Chuck and Bobby. I wonder if like they had Chuck and Bobby in the original script before like the falling out happened, I
Well,
guess.
Chuck already wasn't in one of the other ones, or maybe two of them even.
Yeah, but
But
you
they
don't
got
know.
Bobby
This
back for the
this
next
might
one.
have been developed a few ago. But
Yeah,
I wonder if that was supposed to be those guys and then they had to rewrite it for like a new comedy team.
it seems like that. But I hated these guys. And she's with them because she noticed her car's gone, so her husband must have taken it somewhere. And so she's after her husband. So she recruits those guys.
Right.
So we sort of follow them a little
They're
bit.
just like salesmen that are going to her house for some reason.
I think so. They're not like involved in anything. But then
They
she
should
like
have they should have just done Heretic. It should have been like those two
I was just thinking
dudes
that.
and then
It-
she's like in the house like trying to convince them that God isn't real.
oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna say they should have been like Jehovah's Witnesses or something.
No, no, I just think the movie should have been the movie.
We didn't know how good that seemed for a movie yet. We weren't aware. Um, but they kept like doing the thing where like they'd finish each other's sentences or whatever.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah.
It was like they wouldn't even it wouldn't even like they'd stop in the middle of sentences, the other guy would finish it. It wasn't even like they were finishing each other's sentences. It was like you ever watch a movie about like you ever see
Romance.
it? No,
I was
no, no.
trying to finish your sentence.
You ever good? You ever see a movie where it's like three telepaths or whatever, and they're like conjoined, but like they all have like the same ideas, and then it's like let's talk like, and they just like finish each other's shit.
I, That seems
I
like a
don't know
very
what I'm
specific
thinking of.
movie.
It is. I think
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
of the Stepford Cuckoos, which are some X-Men characters I like. But
Wow.
I feel like I've seen this in movies where it's like people that are like connected to each other telepathically, finishing each other's sentences. That's what these guys reminded me of.
Yeah, they weren't doing like one word. It wasn't like finishing the last word. He was like fully picking up the sentence and running with it. And that guy was like, "Yeah, you know what it is." Like they seemed to be like knowing each other's
Yeah,
minds.
it
You're
would be
right.
like one of them would be like, "Do you want to?" And then the other guy without
Go to the
skipping a
store to
beat
get
would
some batteries because we're out.
exactly,
And they're like, "Yes,
exactly.
yes, I do
Yeah,
want to do that."
yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I hated it. I didn't like him. But
Mm.
and then Ernest, he has the crown, so he's the new king at the end of the film.
Oh yeah,
Yay,
that
Ernest.
stuff.
But then he
What
goes back
was
to
that?
janitor
Yeah,
for the
I
next
mean,
movie.
it's like the cannon stops rolling finally. And it's like you think the movie's gonna be over, but then there's this whole like 20 minutes extra with Ernest walking around in a crown.
Yeah, that was exciting.
You should have seen me in a crown.
What's that?
That's a Billie Eilish song.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
1 star.
fucking hated this
Wait,
so
let me
much.
calculate how many stars. Carry the one. Oh, one
Nice.
star. One
That's
star.
really good.
Uh,
Uh,
there's who's the MVP, LVP? My MVP is gonna be Linda Cash. I enjoyed her in both. She's gonna be my LVP for both films.
fair enough. Yeah, I'll go with her for this one, I guess.
LVP's got to be one of those guys, either Frank or Joe. I'll go
Mm.
Frank since he doesn't have a photo on IMDb. Duke or Ernsberger, sort of like Ehrenberg.
Yeah.
Ernsberger.
Ernst Burger.
He's like the plural of Ehrenberg.
We could
Ernsberger.
just go with both those guys.
I'll go Frank. You'll go Joe.
Yeah, fine.
I love it. Next film. Is there anything else on this one?
No, God, no.
All right.
God, no.
Let's
For
never think
heaven's
about it ever
sake.
again. Okay.
I hope not. How does this have a 2.5 average on
Really?
Letterboxd?
That's nuts.
I've seen like really good movies that have lower averages than that.
I think like one of the Olympus Has Fallen movies had a lower average than that or something.
I feel like I don't know. Ugh.
Or no, it was like I think it was one of the How to Train Your Dragons. Is what I'm thinking of. One of those is like
I want to
1.9.
say there's like a Brian De Palma movie I like or something that has like a 2.1 or
Probably
2.3 on
Snake Eyes. That
Letterboxd.
one's sort
Yeah,
of
I don't know,
controversial.
maybe. But 2.5 seems insane. I mean,
2.5? Really?
yeah, that's the average. I
I feel
followed
like something's
three
wrong with people.
people that have rated this movie. One of them gave it a 5. I
Who?
mean, I
As a
Matt
joke?
Stetchel, he follows me. I followed him back. There's this fellow Saint Hooligan who I think is a listener. He gave
Yeah,
it a
I follow
3,
him or her.
and Justin Holcomb, who's our good friend Coach, he gave it a 2. And I gotta say, like I can't even fathom giving this movie more than a 1.
Maybe if they were like half watching it, not trying to like pay attention to stuff like we are.
Maybe if you half watched it as a kid and then came across it on this website, you might think like, all right, yeah, that might have been a 2.
Right. If there are no, are those current ratings or old ratings? Like, are there
Those aren't.
reviews with them?
They're no. They're just ratings.
Okay, I can see that happening then.
Hmm. I can't imagine watching this movie and being like
Not a
that.
one.
That's not a 1.
Right. I can't
It-
either.
no. All right. Um.
I hope it's the worst Ernest film. Ernest Goes to School. Very fun film.
All
Came out in
right. Yeah.
1994.
It did. This is the only they filmed it back to back with Ernest Rides Again, but it's the only one not directed by John Cherry. He
Really? I
directed
didn't
8
notice
of the
that.
9 Ernest movies. He passed this one along to his sometime co-writer Coke Sams.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he took the directing reins for this one. He co-wrote it with Bruce Arnson. I read that John Cherry went on vacation while this one was getting made.
Good for you, John.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I
Um,
guess so.
this It cost $3 million to make. It was released direct to video December 14th, 1994. But earlier in the year, it did come out in theaters, Logan. But it was only released in two cities
Okay, what
in
cities?
America.
Los Angeles and New York.
You no. Usually, when you hear a movie was only released in two cities, it's Los Angeles and New York. All right,
Right, right.
but you got to understand the earnest audience is morons. Okay. So where are the
Louisville, Kentucky.
dumbest Logan?
Yeah.
That's one of the cities.
The city? I got the city right?
I swear to you,
That's the
Louisville,
craziest thing I've
Kentucky.
ever done on
That
this
that
podcast.
is unbelievable.
That is fucking. I was trying to think. Kentucky's like one of the
Yeah,
dumbest states. I was trying
you
to think of a
got you
city.
got in the head of these morons. All right, Louisville, Kentucky is,
And
and
Little
then
Rock, Arkansas. That's my other
it's a
guess.
good guess. It's a good guess. The other one is Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, damn it. Damn it.
All right, that's where the Ernest fans were at this stage.
That's pretty crazy. Two theaters. How much do we know how much Varney's pocketing at this point? Is he getting paid a lot?
I fucking hope so. I mean, it's a $3 million budget. I hope Varney's getting $2.5 million.
I highly doubt it's that. I was thinking he's probably getting like 40,000 a movie or so.
No, I bet he's getting like 100 grand.
That's a good gig. Good for
Yeah,
him.
I
That's
know.
great.
Agreed.
Yeah, he
I
made
would
like a
do it.
million dollars off Ernest
I
films.
would do this dumb shit. I read
Oh, are
that
you kidding me?
at this point, Varney was smoking a full pack of Marlboro cigarettes a day on the way to make the film.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's surely smoking them in
he'd
between
already
shooting
finished a
though.
whole pack of cigarettes before
Mm,
getting to the set.
yeah, that's pretty nuts. I think
Amazing.
I would do these for if they gave me 10 grand a year, I would make an Ernest film. Give me 10 grand every year, I'll go make an Ernest film.
I'll make an Ernest film for $500.
I guess so, just to get my name out there. I'm the new
Yeah,
Ernest.
yeah.
I do
Right.
it for free, honestly. Legitimately, I would do it for free if someone was like, "Do it." I'd be like, "All right."
Yeah.
I'm not
That's where I
campaigning to be Ernest.
but that's where our lives are. Like Jim
Right,
Varney's
right.
an
He's
established
he's a lot
actor.
cooler than us, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we do 94 list?
He's only a year away from Toy Story at this point.
Oh wow,
Um,
true. That's true.
yeah. All right, we could do 94 list. What's 94? Pulp Fiction. That's how I'll pull up my list.
That's a good one. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna go number 10. We still haven't covered it. The Lion King. It'll be very fun. We got Mufasa coming out. It could be a good time. Maybe next
Barry
year.
Jenkins, baby. I read an interview with Barry Jenkins, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go back to real movies now." And I
Good for
was
him,
like,
honestly. I'm judging these people less than I did. Like, I feel like a few years ago, I was like, fuck these people. Now I totally get it. Like, make a lot of money, go back, do whatever you want to do. You just spend 2 years of your life doing this shit and then to make whatever you want. I
I
totally get it. And I respect it,
I
honestly.
judge it. No,
When you
I
get
don't
into the
respect it.
position to be able to do that, that's what you work your whole life for.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Here's the thing. There were indie filmmakers in the 90s, guys like Mike Lee. All right. Mike Lee wasn't making his little movies to eventually make Lion King prequels. All
Of
right.
course not. But if they
He was
said we'll
make
give you $100 million to make one of these movies, and then you can make 30 of those, whatever the hell you want to do, go for it.
no,
I bet he would do it.
listen, there was a time where filmmakers made their little films so that they could make more little films and more little films. All right. You know, all these guys could have eventually done like big TV movies or, like, and some of them did.
Didn't Spike
And
Lee do TV stuff?
yeah,
He would have made a superhero film if they were like Spike Lee, he would have done it.
no, he wouldn't have. Spike Lee was definitely in the discussion for superhero movies at one point. I
I
mean,
feel like
the
he
closest,
struggled for a
the
long
cl-
time.
yeah, and what he did during those times was like remake Old Boy, like that he could do that.
That's shittier than making a superhero movie.
I disagree.
Remaking a classic but bad.
It's good. I like his Old Boy.
There's nothing to improve on the old movie. The old movie is one of my 5 favorite movies of all time, maybe. I fucking love
No,
that
bro.
movie. I don't get it. I'd rather make Doctor Strange 2 than remake Old Boy.
I
I have way
wouldn't.
more respect for that.
I
That's
don't.
just where we differ, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just
Like you have
it,
more respect for remaking funny games but American
yes,
rather than make a superhero movie, make a lot of millions of
yes,
dollars, and then you can make
yes.
whatever. I don't know.
I have so much more respect for filmmakers who make their little movies so they can make more little movies.
Well, of course, but like you could make a lot of money to make whatever you want forever.
I don't
I think
give
that's
a
the goal
fuck.
for a lot of people.
I agree. I think that's the goal for a lot of people, and that's the problem with this entire fucking country.
But the
That's
goal
the
I'm saying
problem.
is freedom. They want freedom to make whatever they
What
want.
freedom? What Barry Jenkins is all of a sudden going to be able to finance whatever the fuck he wants?
I think
He
so.
made
I think that's
from
the
making
plan.
Mufasa the Lion
What
King.
he's basically he was like, I'll make that, and then after that, I get to do whatever the f I want to do.
I hope you're right about that.
I think we're gonna
But
be blown away by whatever he
but
makes
like
next.
I keep seeing like there are filmmakers. I'm like, all right, I'm excited to see their career, and then they make a superhero movie, and then you're like, all right, what's next? And it's like they make a bunch more superhero movies and bullshit. Like you know,
Taika.
I mean, I remember seeing like Fruitvale Station, being so excited for Ryan Coogler's career, and then it's like I love Creed,
He was
but
put
like
in hell.
I'm
His
gonna
lead
make
died.
I'm gonna make a Rocky movie, then I'm gonna make a Black Panther movie, then I'm gonna make another Black Panther. It's like when is this fucking guy gonna make
No, that's
another real
fair.
movie?
I fully get that. But he was like he lost a few years because his lead died. That's sort of tough to put on it. But he did accept it, like knowing.
He
And he
didn't
went
lose
in.
as many years as Chadwick Boseman did.
That's true. That's true. And he had already done Rocky before that. Like, why do you have to double up on it? And now
Yeah,
we're like saying Black Panther shouldn't exist or something, or he shouldn't have done it.
no,
I'd rather great artists make these movies rather than Peyton Reed. Not to shit on Peyton Reed or
I'd
whatever.
rather Hollywood made real movies.
Of course, in a perfect world, that'd be the case. But this is the world we live
I'm
in,
sick of
Daniel.
this bullshit.
You got to make Aquaman
You know,
3
I
before you
just
can.
watched goddamn Juror number 2, and I was like, oh yeah, there used to be a million fucking movies like that. They were
I
coming out all the
agree.
time. There were legal thrillers. There were fucking coming of age. They were coming out all the fucking time. All the time. Every week.
Every week.
Craven the Hunter came out this weekend.
I'm hearing great
Craven
stuff.
the Hunter. It's a film based on Spider-Man's like 17th most interesting villain, and it doesn't have Spider-Man in it.
And guess what? They got this guy J.C. Chandor to make it rather than Spike Lee, and I'd be watching it if Spike Lee made it. That's all I gotta say.
What's JC Chandor? What has he made before
Triple
this?
Frontier, Margin Call.
Margin Call. I remember when Margin Call came out. It was like an exciting new movie. And it was, what's this guy going to do going forward? What's the Margin Call guy going to do? He's going to make a movie about
You're
the
so
fucking
loud. You're
17th
so
best
loud.
Spider-Man movie.
All is lost. Where Robert
Villain.
Redford's stuck on a boat.
That's JC Chandor? Yeah,
Yeah,
that was his follow-up to Margin Call.
A
I
Most
remember that was
Violent
a
Year.
really
Also,
interesting film. Henry loved it. It gave it a 5.
I did love it. And A Most Violent
That
Year. You see that one?
no.
Okay.
But how is that where he is now? That I can't believe the All Is Lost guy is the guy that directed Craven the Hunter. That's insane to me.
Listen, I agree. I do think there's a difference though. Some people like their goal is to make a superhero movie, like to get to that point, and some people it's not their goal, but they want to make what they want to make. But
They want to
like
make money. It's all about money now.
we wouldn't have Knives Out if Ryan Johnson didn't make The Last Jedi. Think about that.
Yeah.
Or
But at
Poker
least The
Face,
Last
whatever he's doing
Jedi took
next.
some fucking risks with it,
No,
you
I
know?
fucking love The Last Jedi.
Yeah. I mean,
But
he
that's why
was
these
put,
artists have to make these movies because they can be The Last Jedi.
but
Now there's people that
they
hate The Last
never
Jedi are like,
are.
what?
They never are.
They never are. The Last Jedi is different.
Do you think fucking Mufasa the Lion King is? I mean, look, I don't want to judge it. I haven't fucking seen it.
Are there reviews out?
I don't know, but so many of these movies. Like you go see them, and it's like they could be made by fucking anybody.
Yeah, I
What
mostly
is
agree.
Sam Raimi doing, wasting his time on Doctor Strange 2? That could have been made by anybody.
I think the difference was Ryan Johnson was given full control. They were like, read the script for the first movie, write the second movie. Before it even came out,
Yeah,
he
and
was
then the
like,
movie was divisive, and now they don't let people do that anymore. Like it's
right.
they all have to follow the same fucking outline. It's insane. Peyton Reed, like he did the Ant-Man movies, right?
The first
I,
one, I don't know about the second one.
who made Ant-Man Quantumania? That piece of shit.
I think maybe he did all three, honestly. I
Yeah,
want to
I
say,
think you're
if I had to
right.
guess.
And I remember when he was like a promising director, he did Bring It On and he did Down with Love, which was this crazy Busby Berkeley pastiche. And
Bring
now
it
he's
on.
just
He did bring it on.
I said that. You don't
Oh,
listen.
I
And
did
and
listen.
and then he does it's just like a green screen. It's just a dude on a green screen shrinking.
Who was it that left jumped that one though?
What?
Was that Edgar Wright on that one? Somebody was gonna do. I forget
That was
that.
the first Ant-Man. I'll give him a pass on the first one.
That's a good movie though. It's probably. I mean, you think the second one's better actually,
The third one was just so bad though.
but I don't know. These people got to make money. They got to keep making movies. You
I
know.
don't respect it.
That's why M Night's my guy. He's off doing his own shit, funding his own
I
movies.
do. I will give you that.
Trap, best film of the year.
Listen. M Night went through it. He made his shitty Will Smith
Last
movie. He made the
Airbender.
Last Airbender. Yeah, but you know that guy's just following his muse at this point. I don't. I didn't like Trap, but it's like if what M Night wants to do is make a novelty piece for his fucking shitty, untalented daughter, like go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
respect it more than Lion King prequels.
Of course, I'll follow him anywhere he leads me, even if he leads me into the village, and that's a scary place to be. Let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Where he leads, I will follow, like Carol King on the Gilmore Girls theme song.
That's
All right.
good. I was like, what is
Mhm,
that? What is that? Damn
mhm.
it. Good job.
Uh,
That's so good. That's such a good song.
I know.
It's humming it right now in my head.
Yeah, yeah, classic.
Uh,
Well, 94 list. You want to
oh
do
shit,
this?
94. Yeah. Oh, I said The Lion King, and then we got started on that whole thing. That
Oh
that was my number
yeah.
10. That's crazy.
Ugh.
Sorry, guys. Number 9, River of Grass. Number 8, Natural Born Killers. 7, Dumb and Dumber. 6, documentary Hoop Dreams. That was pretty cool.
Great.
5, Speed. 4, The Shawshank Redemption. Underrated by Daniel. Not cool.
Overrated by literally
Not
everyone who
cool.
isn't Daniel.
I don't like that one. That's not cool. I get where you're coming from. The Departed, but this one, I don't like it. 3, Pulp Fiction. 2, Quiz Show. Ahead of Pulp Fiction. I fucking love Quiz Show. And number 1, my favorite Tim Burton film, Ed Wood. That surprised me even.
This is a great year. I'm looking at this. I've got fours going all the way up to number 42 on my list.
Whoa. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That's outrageous. All right. I've got movies that I love, like Hal Hartley's Amateur. That's in the 30s. Lion King's number 29 for me. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Bullets Over Broadway, Blue Sky,
Hudsucker Proxy, probably.
Quiz Show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hudsucker's up there. It's wild. But here's my top 10. Here's what I've got it uh, down to. My number 10 is Danny Boyle's first film, Shallow Grave. My 9 is Natural Born Killers. 8, Speed. I
Great
think
drug,
Speed's
also.
incredible. Yeah, one of the best.
I never tried it.
It's all right. Molly's a better version. Number 7 is Crumb. Number 6 is Leon the Professional. Number 5 is Hoop Dreams.
2 documentaries.
Yep. Number 4, Ed Wood. Number 3, Three Colors Red.
Wow, that good.
Yeah. Number 2, Heavenly Creatures, and number 1, Pulp Fiction.
Where's Quiz Show?
I got Quiz Show at 20.
20.
After seeing you give it a 5, I feel like maybe I should have it higher, but I mean,
Movies
I
Movington gave it the
love that
seal of
movie.
approval too. He gave it a 5.
Oh man.
That makes me feel better anytime he does that.
Like Quiz Show has a 3.8 average on Letterboxd. Ernest Rides Again has a 2.5.
It's only 1.3 better.
Make it make sense.
I can't make it make sense.
All right. Tell me about this Ernest movie.
Baby's Day Out, 2.8. How is that as good as Ernest Rides Again? Baby's Day Out is awesome.
Yeah, I love Baby's Day Out.
That was like one of the first movies I couldn't stop laughing at. I was like, oh my God. This
Dude,
is
I
hilarious.
kind of remember that too. Like, and it was when I was a little kid or whatever. But like, I remember, like,
He like sets the pants on fire and he's like hanging out with the
I
monkey. And I was like,
I
oh my
remember watching Baby Stay Out and like running out of breath. I was laughing so hard.
yeah. It's really like my first real memory of like, oh my God, this is great. So, but Ernest goes to school. It's a lot like
Yeah.
Flowers from Iwo Jima. What'd you say?
Flowers for Algernon.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
I think Algernon was the name of a rat that they were doing like experiments on in order to like figure out the drug.
Oh shit. They tested
Yeah,
all in the same rat.
I guess. I think they made the rat smart.
It actually worked.
Yeah. Well, it's a fiction, but
Oh, it's
yeah.
not real. Oh shit. That'd
What are
be
you dumb?
cool. Well, I don't know. They do test on rats. I don't know what kind of breakthroughs they have. Surely they've made one rat smarter at one point, right?
Maybe.
They had to have like move the block, move the block, put the block in the hole, and it does it. And you're like, oh my God, he put the circle in the circle hole.
I'll ask Nathaniel. You know, that's what Nathaniel does for a living. He like fucks with like rat brain.
That is awesome. Yeah, he did
Yeah.
great on this episode. A little insight.
Yeah.
But he is another maintenance man at the school, like camp.
Right. You know, that's why they should have called it Flowers for Ernest, because Ernest Goes to School is telling me nothing. I've seen this fucking guy in school before.
Yeah, it's fair. But that's a totally different audience. The audience for Ernest isn't the audience that knows about that book. They
I
wouldn't even
guess
get
you're
it.
right. That's fair.
The movie wouldn't make any sense.
That is very fair. Yeah. So he's a janitor at elementary school. Is that what it is? Or
I
middle
don't
school?
know. That's crazy. You
Because I
said
feel
that.
like the kids are a little older in this one.
I feel like it's not elementary school.
No, yeah, they might be like junior high or something.
Yeah, I'd say like about eighth graders.
Yeah,
So it's been middle school. But yeah, they did you like when the football players run over him and he has the little cleat marks all over him?
no,
He's like flattened by the football players. Okay. But the premise is we might close down the school. We got to cut costs. And so the school might go.
right. So there's this like sleazy businessman. I honestly think he's the closest analog for Billy Madison in the movie. Because he reminded me of like the Bradley Whitford character, but he's trying to get the school shut down, and he comes up with a loophole. And no, I'm not talking about the poop hole loophole, Mormons. Keep your minds out of the gutter. Uh, the loophole I'm talking about is that he finds a rule that says everyone who works at the school has to have graduated high school. All right.
But how
And
would they
there's
shut down the
one
school? It would just get rid of one. They can't just. I don't know why they don't fire Ernest and just bring in a new guy.
that's what I'm saying. Okay. Their thing is like that's against the rules. So like they would be able to find the school and then the school's going to shut down. But why is the school willing to shut down over one
The
janitor?
risk is crazy.
There's only one person who works for the school that hasn't graduated from high school. This one janitor. All right. I've been fired from jobs for less than this.
Right.
All right. That all you do is you pull Ernest into the office and say, Ernest, this is a thing. They're going to shut the school down. I've got to let you go.
At least
All
for
right?
3 months, go take a course, come back. We'll give you the job back.
You could almost convince me if it was like a matter of loyalty. Like Ernest has been working for the school for the last 40 years and we don't want to put him on his ass. All right. But it's not like Ernest can't get another job. He's getting new jobs constantly.
What's canon though? Is that canon? Has he lived all those other lives?
Yeah, that canon from the last movie is canon.
Oh, that's good. But that hasn't happened, has it?
What?
Cause like he got promoted. He was the janitor, but then he got promoted to like camp counselor, and then he like
You can't tell me that shit didn't happen. All right. Ernest saved Christmas. He went to camp.
but
He
he
was
also went to
scared
jail.
stupid. Yeah. All of that has happened. All right.
Yeah.
So he has only worked at this school. Less than a year ago, he was working for a different school. All right. He was working for a college somewhere.
Is that true?
That's where in Rides Again. That's what he's doing.
All right. That goes back to what's canon though. Because I sort of thought in this movie it was like you've been here for a long time, we don't want to do it to you type deal.
Yeah, but he can't he can't have been there longer than one school year.
I each movie I go in not thinking about the other movies. I got to be
Well,
honest.
that's not how I treat this shit.
Yeah, I think about them totally differently.
All right, so he's got to. They're so instead of firing Ernest, they're like, all right, to save our school, Ernest, you have to graduate high school. It's fucking retarded.
Oh,
Sorry, and they so he does that. He like they come up with a curriculum for him, and he's gonna graduate high school, and but they don't trust him to graduate high school just on his own merits
oh,
because he's a complete fucking idiot. And so there are like science teachers in the school. One of them is the one who was in Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show from the last movie, Linda Cash, and the other one is
Bobby.
Bobby
Yeah, they got
Bobby
Bobby back.
from the Chuck and Bobby team.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So they invented a machine that can zap your head and make you smart for brief periods of time. So
I didn't
Ernest does
understand the
that.
rules
Me neither.
because
It
they
was it was one of those things where the rules are whatever it needs to be in that moment. Like there were times like you, I guess they were zapping him every morning.
they say though when they set it
Every
up.
morning we're gonna zap you in the head with this smart making machine. Shut the door, Ernest. Don't say a word.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
That's a fun reference.
Yeah, because they set it up like it's every 3 hours. It'll last for 3 hours, is what how they set it up. But then they have to
They
redo it.
have to do it more than once a day.
They do it more than once a day. But during the football game, like in the middle of the football game, we're having to do it. It like recharge the people. Why is the high school football game going over 3 hours long? And
I
they
don't
also
know.
come in at halftime. Like they only play half the game.
Why did him becoming smart make him good at football? This is just like Teen Wolf
I don't
when
know.
becoming a werewolf made him good at basketball. There's no connection between the two.
It's true. I see more of the connection between the werewolf and basketball, honestly. But it didn't make no sense here. He's like, yeah, there's one part he's doing gymnastics, like back handsprings and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
it made you smart, not athletic. I don't
Well,
know.
why did he become so good at like teaching a like he became great at every instrument? That was part of him being smart. And so he was like teaching
That
this
makes kind of
this
sense.
high
You're like a
school
genius. He's like a
band.
musical genius.
I guess so, but like it's so crazy to me like that this happens and then it's like the teacher Linda Cat who's also are those different characters?
What? Yeah, I believe so.
So she's playing the band teacher
Yeah,
and
in the last movie she was Nan. Here she's Gerda.
no. I'm saying is she playing two different characters in this movie?
What do you mean? She's only one character in this movie.
She's the band teacher.
No, that's not her.
That's not her?
No, that's Miss Flugel, played by Corinne
Oh,
Coslow.
right. And she's sort of like a love interest for Ernest. I
He
kind of
really
wanted them to
likes
fuck at
her.
the end. Yeah.
They have a
Um,
dance number,
yeah.
dream sequence, sort of.
But it's like the second he becomes smart, he's like, I think I could teach this class. And may I? He like asks for her little, conductor
That's a thing,
thing.
though.
And
In school, like they'll try to train like one student to be like the conductor of the class. He was like that.
what are you talking about? I was in high school band. There were no students doing that
We
shit.
had we had like a student who would like host them at the pep rallies, do the things. We had like a student who would go up there. that
I
would
don't.
learn. Maybe we
I
just
have
had like a
not experienced
student who wanted
that.
to learn it. I don't know.
Maybe a student wanted to become a band
That actually
teacher
made
or a
sense to me.
conductor or something. But like the way I see it, the teacher does that. All right, that's their job.
Fair.
There's like scenes in this movie where Ernest is conducting a high school band and the teacher's just sitting at the desk, like watching admiringly.
Yeah. And at the football game, she's just in the stands, just watching while Ernest causes a fire.
Fire this bitch, man. She's checked out.
That's fair. Yeah. But she creates a great number,
What number?
a little musical number.
Oh, I thought she like invented a number.
No, no. She just composes great music. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
meant.
Mm-hmm. Logan, did you know that before 1000, there's no number
I have a question about
that
that.
has an A in it?
First of all, I did know that. But second of all, even after 1000, no? What changes after 1000?
The word thousand has an A in it.
No, they say it doesn't start with an A.
No, they said it doesn't have an A.
Doesn't have an A.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I thought it doesn't start with an A.
No.
Wow. So up to 1000. I did know that. I learned that on Big Brother season 26.
Big brother.
Dano gave himself a headache. He gave me one too, screaming into the microphone all episode.
Oh, sorry. Have I been
You got really upset earlier about the directors,
I know.
Mufasa. You're
I
like,
know.
Spike Lee would never. Um, but yeah, we train a pig. We're like test the pig how smart it is. That's funny.
Some pig.
Yeah, some
It's
pig.
a
Yeah, babe.
Charlotte's Web reference.
Oh, I thought it was babe.
Babe, this fucking guy.
So
That's
pig.
that'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig.
Yeah.
But we're like, what's 4 plus 2? And Ernest is like, seven, seven, seven. That was funny to me.
He held up six fingers for those
And
listening
he
on the
said
podcast.
he was like, carry the one, carry the one. That's what he did. And then he was like, seven. I
Mhm.
really liked that. I thought that was pretty funny. But
Listen. This is way better than Ernest Rides Again. All right, like this is a piece of shit. Fucking horrible.
I think I'm done giving ones to movies
It's
now.
reprehensible.
Ernest
But
Rides Again was the last one I'm gonna give.
no, there has to be varying degrees of ones.
Right, right. But I think that really
Yeah,
showed me like there are that's a one. Other movies that have anything else aren't. That's not a one. There's
I
something
know.
here.
I totally get it. Like there are movies I've given a 1 to where I'm like, at least like everyone working on it was a professional.
Right, totally. Like there's something to hang on to in any movie, but not that one. Not that one.
Yeah.
Uh, but at one
Anyway.
point, the bad guys see him sneak into the locker, right? So they sort of break down the system, the sort of bullies of the school a little bit.
Oh, the bullies. I liked the bullies. There's one bully that's like a cool guy. Hey, fuck you, that kind of guy. And then there's his sidekick who's like a fat guy, and it was Will Sasso from fucking Mad
Oh, that's who
TV.
that was.
I
I
was so
couldn't.
excited to see Will Sasso. And anytime they're like bullying Ernest, they laugh. They find their bullying so funny. It reminded me of the scene in Wet Hot American Summer when Michael Showalter's doing like the old Jewish, like, you know, borscht belt comedian at the end,
Yeah.
like arts and farts and crafts, that
Right.
guy. And then they cut to the audience. So like they're just like losing their minds laughing.
Yep.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I couldn't tell who Will Sasso was. I know him mostly from Vine. He used to post a lot of vines of him like spitting up
Oh, really?
lemons and stuff. I was like,
No,
oh, I
he's
guess this
been
is who Will
around for
Sasso is.
years, man. He did a little run in wrestling for a second.
Wrestling.
Yeah, he wrestled for a little bit, and he's been around. He's a funny guy. There were a few recognizable names in this movie. There was one name that the credits misspelled, so it wasn't a
No
recognizable
way.
name. But then when she showed up in the movie, I was like, oh hey, it's her. How about Sarah Chalk?
Really?
Yeah. You think they cast her because her last name's Chalk and that's like school? They use a lot of chalk.
Yep, that's why she was cast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Sarah Chalk,
Why'd
which
they
is
misspell her
spelled
name? That's horrible.
in the movie, they spell it like chalk,
Yeah,
like
without the E.
that you write with, but she's got an E in her name that they did not incorporate. And I wondered whether she like added the E or if like earlier in her career she didn't have the E. But I looked it up. Nope, they just misspelled it in this movie.
The
Um,
disrespect.
yeah, unbelievable. But Sarah Chalk, I love. She had been second Becky by this point in Roseanne, but
Hmm.
she went on to she was the female lead on Scrubs.
Right, that's cool. Scrubs.
Yeah,
I'm no Superman.
Scrubs. She's no Superman. But she's been in tons of shit. She was in How I Met Your Mother and lots of TV. But I think Firefly Lane was her most recent thing. I haven't watched it, but
I've seen this guy Kevin McNulty before, I think.
I wasn't done with Sarah Chalk.
Oh,
Maybe I
I'm
was.
sorry.
Anyway, it was just exciting to see her because she's like, hey, look at you. It was like something to hang on to for some of this movie. And she
Yeah,
was just like one of the supportive kids or whatever. He had like two friends. One was like sort of like a ginger nerd that I hated, and then there was this girl, Sarah Chalk. Um, David Keith showed up also in this movie.
who's that?
Not Keith David, but
Yeah, David
you know how
Keith.
yeah, you know how there's a David Keith as well as a Keith David?
I didn't know that, I don't think.
Absolutely. Well, David Keith is in this.
All right, shout out to him.
Yeah.
But this guy, I think I know he was in The Invisible. He was the principal in The Invisible, apparently. Kevin McNulty. But he was
Oh,
in he has like a famous top four: Snakes on a Plane, The Invisible, Fantastic Four, the Tim Story one, and then The
who did he play in
Uninvited.
that?
In what? Fantastic
Fantastic
Four?
Four.
Jimmy O'Houlihan.
What is it?
Jimmy O'Houlihan.
What the fuck is
That's his name.
that? Jimmy O'Houlihan.
And then the horror film The Uninvited. I
Yeah,
remember
I
that
saw
being
that in
sort of fun.
theaters. It
Yeah.
was pretty good. Yeah.
The
That
twist,
Emily
right?
Browning. I thought she was going to be a bigger deal.
I think I thought the other one too.
Who's the other one in that movie?
God damn it. There's like a blonde and a brunette, right?
I like the brunette, Emily Browning. She was good. She was in that show, The Affair on Showtime. I liked her.
Ariel Kebble.
Oh, Aria, I kind of thought she was gonna be a bigger deal too.
I had
She
the
she
hots for
was
her.
yeah, well, she was hot. That's why. Um, she was in a ton of like teen shows at the time. I think she showed up on Gossip Girl, maybe 90210, like the CW 90210.
She's in John Tucker Must Die. She's one of the girls, so I guess that's where I know her from. But she's also
Yeah.
in Aquamarine. I didn't know that.
Light. Oh, here I looked it up. She's in Life Unexpected. That was a CW show I watched. She was in American Pie Band Camp.
Okay.
Oh, Gilmore Girls. That's right. She was in Gilmore Girls for a little while. She played Dean's wife, who he then cheated on with Rory.
Oh no. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
I
Where you
know.
leave, I will follow. That's what he said to Rory. I don't know.
Where you lead, I will follow.
That's what I said. All right.
Oh,
So no, that's not what I said at all. But apparently, Ernest has seen every WrestleMania since the Hulkster was defeated by the Ultimate Warrior. I looked it up.
I
That's
know.
WrestleMania 6. So he's been watching ever since WrestleMania 6. That's pretty
Why not
crazy.
before that? He's like old.
I know. I was thinking we watched before that. We
Yeah,
watched
he
all the
didn't get
stuff
on the
before that.
ground floor with it. He wasn't interested in the Cindy Lauper and Mr. T WrestleMania.
Or the one where they're in 3 different cities.
Yeah, yeah, the one where Hulk wrestled King Kong Bundy in a steel
The second
cage.
one.
That was WrestleMania too. Yeah, but
Who's Vince with? Vince was with the girl I liked.
oh
Remember?
my
For some
god,
reason.
yeah, you did. You loved her.
I
Do
don't know why that was.
you remember Elvira was doing one of the cities?
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Ernest was like, he just, I guess, decided at the age of 40 to watch WrestleMania 6 and never looked back.
Yeah. To see. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was very weird though. But he
And he
saw
must have been
Hulk
so
lose.
disappointed. He's clearly a Hulk Hogan fan. He calls him the Hulkster.
Yeah, no,
And,
absolutely.
and he tunes in to watch him lose to Ultimate Warrior. That's what got him into wrestling. Seems crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. But so at a certain point, his smartness starts to become mean. He's not the nice dumb Ernest that he used to
Yeah,
be. He's like meaner.
he's
So
coarse.
we like fake do the machine on him, and he runs out during a speech.
Is that the message of this movie?
I think so.
It's like they're trying to tell the people of Louisville, Kentucky, and Cincinnati, Ohio, that it's better to be a dumb shit. Like, don't
I don't
bother
think it's
teaching yourself anything. You'll lose what makes you an essentially good person.
that's one
I
takeaway.
honestly, Ernest led us to Trump. I'm drawing a direct line between Ernest and Trump right now.
I like that. I don't that's a read for sure. I think it's more like be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not, because then you'll lose sight of yourself.
Yeah,
Maybe.
as Audio Slave once said, "Be yourself."
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Oh, I thought this one was sort of fun. It was sort of like jail, how he gets to be two Ernests. He gets to be dumb Ernest, but also smart Ernest.
Yeah, because he's coming up with like a little smart guy character. Yeah, of course, smart Ernest wears glasses because being smart makes your
That's how
vision
you know we're
worse.
so smart.
Yeah.
We both wear glasses.
No. That is not how you know I'm smart, guys. That is how you know that my eyes are shitty. I
I
cannot
never
see
understood that.
distances.
That
Yeah.
was the weirdest thing to put together. I guess because reading glasses are a thing they associate with reading. I don't know.
I guess so, but mine are for just look. There's a bookshelf right over there.
Yeah,
I
can't see any of them.
can't read any of the books right now. Now can read all the books, every single one of
Whoa.
them.
Every
Hmm.
single one. Why would you want to
Yeah,
do that though? Read all the books.
I see that. Well, that's what the Ernest movies are trying to tell you. You shouldn't read the books. Take those
Right.
glasses off. Let your eyes be shitty and live in your own dumb fucking world.
I didn't have to watch these to learn that. I've just been doing that my whole life. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool,
well,
guys.
you grew up in Alabama. That's you're bred to do that shit.
Surprised it wasn't released here.
I'm surprised too.
In Tuscaloosa, go see Ernest.
Tuscaloosa. That's in Alabama.
Yep.
I've
That's where
heard of that.
Alabama football plays. That's where their
Mm.
college is.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, great job.
Thanks.
And it gets we get to the big football game at the end, and the big money guy comes out, and he talks to the football coach, says, "Hey, throw the game, and we'll offer you the
Oh
head coach
yeah,
at the other school," which is sort of a good.
that's right.
Like, it's sort of a good
But how's the coach
proposition.
gonna throw the game? Like they have this whole game plan to beat the other team, and then all of a sudden before the game, the coach could just give bad plays.
Yeah, third and 18. Let's run it right down the middle.
I don't think it would change it that much. Like
It
I'm
would.
pretty sure like a football team that could beat another team before a game can still beat the team no matter how shitty the coach is.
4th and 10 on our own 20. We're going for it. Doesn't matter. He's just calling the dumbest plays
Is that what he's
possible.
doing? It's like it's 2nd and 1.
I think so.
Uh, we're punting.
Yeah, punting on every play. That's maybe
Yeah.
too obvious. But like 2nd and 1, we're taking a shot at the end zone.
Yeah.
But that's sort of smart, because on 2nd and 1, teams are like they just need 1 yard play up. So they play up, and then you take a real shot at the end zone. You scare them. They don't know what's coming. Can be sort of smart, but I don't know what he was doing here. But we get down to the fight. Can we talk about the fight? Well, first of all, some crazy stuff happens. We gas our players. We pump gas into the locker room to knock them out. So and then we take
Yeah.
over the team, which was crazy. And
Right.
then we start playing the game. It gets down to this last play. Ernest, he has the football. He's playing quarterback. He runs with the football. He just takes off, gets tackled, throws the football up in the air. While the ball is up in the air, he runs to the end zone, like on his legs or whatever.
Oh
And he
yeah, he
catches the
sort of
ball.
squats over.
That's an illegal play. If you can't
That's
throw
true
the
because he's
ball,
down.
well, once you're like the ball's in the air, I don't think that really matters.
No,
But
but when he catches it, he's down already. He's on his knees. That's not allowed.
you can like slide, do like a sliding catch, be on the ground and catch the ball. But you
I
can't.
guess.
He throws it forward while he'd already run 20 yards. You can only lateral at that point. But he like tosses it forward toward the end zone and then runs and catches it.
Yeah.
That's a flag on the play. They don't call that. But anyway, so we win the game. The
No,
school
I mean
stays open.
there's a lot of that. I mean, you can't the rules don't matter.
Yeah, rules don't apply to Ernest.
Yeah, it's like Warren Beatty
Really?
and
That's him?
Howard Hughes. The rules don't apply.
All right. Uh, and then he decides he doesn't want to do the thing for his test at the end. He wants to take it on his own, which is like
Yeah,
the moral of the story. Be yourself.
right. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be even if you're a fucking complete moron, just be
You're
yourself.
deficient. I was trying to think of that
Don't
word.
don't aspire to anything greater. Don't learn. Don't teach yourself. Don't work on yourself. Don't
He did teach you. He
just
taught himself how to pass the test. He did get smarter by the end. He learned
he,
through his own efforts.
all
Come
right.
on. Come on. Uh and then what did he eat at the end? He like pulled out this like mechanical beeping thing and then ate it.
I don't even remember that.
It was like the end of the movie. He was like he pulled out this like I don't know what the fuck was happening. But two, this is definitely a two, right? Comparatively.
Comparatively, but I'm
Is it the
still gonna give it a
second worst
one.
one?
Yeah,
I think that's probably fair. This is making me like that first Ernest a lot more, honestly. The first
I'm.
four Ernests are kind of good.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. Like
They're scared stupid. It's all right.
I hated Scared Stupid. All right, that was my least favorite of the
But think
first
Eartha
four.
Kitt, remember, like that's sort of fun,
No, I'm telling you, like Scared Stupid. It honestly seems artful compared to these movies.
honestly. Yeah. And MVP, I'm gonna go Linda Cash. What about you?
Uh, I'll go with Will Sasso.
Wow, I didn't even recognize him. I don't think you'd do that if you didn't know him, though.
I think I would. There was something about those bullies because I liked the other bully too, and I didn't know him. I just thought they were funny. They were a good little comedy duo.
I thought they were going like too hard, like hyping you, laughing at
No,
each
but
other.
that I think is what I liked about it. It seemed almost like anti-comedy, even if that wasn't the intention.
We know how much you're into anti-comedy these
Well, I
days.
love anti-comedy, guys. That's
That's
why
what
it's
this
so
whole podcast
unfunny.
is.
Yeah,
That's why you haven't laughed once this episode. I
yeah.
hope that they've laughed. Uh, I don't know who's the LVP. I don't know.
um, uh,
The like businessy guy. I feel like I didn't like that guy.
yeah, I
Not as
thought
good
he
as the
was.
first guy from camp. Sort of
Yeah,
the same
remember how
plot.
much he got my MVP in camp?
I do remember that, yeah. But it's sort of the same plot as that one. There's like guys moving in, taking over the territory, want
That's
to kick
true.
you out. I'll go LVP that guy. I don't even remember who he was.
I sort of like that choice.
Was he
Uh,
Donald? Maybe Jason Micas? I don't know.
who cares? Um, oh, you know who I didn't like? The coach,
Yeah, Duncan Fraser. Fraser.
Duncan Fraser. That's who
Fraser.
I'm
My
gonna
bad.
go with.
I like that. That's fair. All right. Is that it for Ernest? Oh, we have this other comment for the
Well,
second
it's
film.
not it for Ernest. We've got three more next week.
You're right. Ross Beck says goes to school, on the other hand, is full of pleasant surprises, including a young Sarah Chalk with the E in parentheses there.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Sasso, kind of wild that this was filmed the same summer as Rides Again by the same people. They really have vastly different senses of quality and tone. Hot take, Sandler totally stole this concept for Billy Madison.
No,
And maybe for The Waterboy also,
no.
when he gets good at
Flowers.
football.
This is flowers for Algernon.
You were the one going so hard with weeks 1 and 2 and 3, or whatever weeks there were. These are Sandler. Sandler could do
No,
all
no.
these.
I'm saying that like Sandler uses the same basic thing where it's just like Adam Sandler does a thing.
That was
You
really good.
know. Thank you. Um, you know, I remember there was like a episode of South Park where they were doing like fake trailers. It was like Rob Schneider is a carrot, and that was like one of the trailers.
Is he in
And
Sausage Party, Rob Schneider? He could be a carrot in that film.
yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, that's basically like the gist of these movies. But I do think like the impulse is to compare this to Billy Madison when there's a little bit it's something different going on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. So
It's not elementary school. It doesn't have the this has the flowers for Algernon thing. That one doesn't. There's the whole thing where he's rich in that one. There's a lot going on in Billy Madison. Billy Madison is a vastly better film.
Oh, a hot take there.
Yeah,
What about the Water Boy? Is the Water Boy better?
I haven't seen it like since I was a kid. I
I know
couldn't
you. That's
say.
one you got to rewatch. We can do a
Yeah,
commentary track for that. That'd be kind of fun. I
that
love the
kind of
Water
would be
Boy.
fun.
That was one of my favorites of his growing up. That and Big Daddy were like my two, probably.
I love Big Daddy.
Yeah. But oh, is that all he said? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. Ross Beck. Thank you, Ross.
Thanks to Ross Beck. I think he's gonna be on.
Subscribe on YouTube. Oh yeah.
He's gonna be on. We Love Kids movies. Or
Yeah, if you guys have seen Red One, Daniel's gonna talk about it with Tim and Ross.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. When is that tomorrow? Have you guys talked about it?
I have no idea. We haven't scheduled it yet, and I haven't
Like,
watched the movie yet.
well, I thought you guys should talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that should be tomorrow. But anyway, what else are we doing?
We'll be back for Buffy later in the week. That we're doing 2 episodes of Angel, though. That's Slouching Toward Bethlehem and Supersymmetry, and He's Swift. We're doing what is it?
Evermore.
Evermore. Sorry, I kept calling it Everglow yesterday, and we'll be back also for Compies. Still doing season 26 of Big Brother, which I'm very into, despite my favorite character going home this past week.
Yes, but we still got Angela and Quinn.
Hey, no, that's the
T-Core.
strength of a good cast. Like Pearl Islands. Rupert goes home early, and you're like, God damn it, I miss Rupert. But then like you can keep going because there's plenty of good characters still
Dara.
there.
Dara.
Krista,
Lil, and Burton.
Lil.
What an iconic season.
Yeah, what a great one. All right, so that's coming down your way. So be on patreon.com/the franchise. Check out our YouTube. Follow us on Blue Sky, even though I haven't fucking skeeted yet.
Once you haven't done it one time?
No, not yet.
I've only done those two from Survivor, which
Mm-hmm.
I'll be skeeting again tomorrow. Survivor's on.
Great.
So that'll be exciting.
Look forward to some hot skeet from Logan.
Oh, that's the grossest thing you've ever said. I hated everything about that.
All right, gang. Love one another.